Welcome to episode 8 of the Study in Estonia podcast. I'm Emily, your host today, and joining me as usual is my co-host, Pooja, fellow student ambassador, who is with me in navigating the international student experience here in Estonia. Pooja, how are we feeling today?
Hi, C. Tanon ilus ilm, tanon paike. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Oh my God, I got so carried away with the surrounding today because we have such a special guest and I thought I have to make a right impression over here and I shifted to the Estonian. Emily, please give our viewer a chance to get acquainted to the guest today.
Yeah, that sounds right. That's very relevant because today we're thrilled to have Yilin, also famously known as Kaspar Wang, joining us. Yilin is currently pursuing his master's in communication management at Tallinn University and has built an incredible presence as a TikTok content creator with 30,000 followers.
Ooh.
This day, he is going to be joining us to tell how he mastered the Estonian language, which is no small feat, by the way. And he's also going to tell us about founding his business Wangfluence and his work as a marketing manager at Han's Restaurant, my favorite Chinese restaurant, by the way. And he has been collaborating with various Estonian brands. His journey from international student to fluent Estonian speaker, successful content creator, and entrepreneur is exactly the kind of story we love sharing on this podcast. Kaspar, welcome. We're so excited to have you here. Please tell us about yourself.
Wow, Kaspar. We are so excited to have you. So that's Kaspar.
Thank you for having me today. Actually, I'm really a bit nervous. You give me so many titles before, so long intro. Yeah, so hi, I'm Kaspar, or you can also call me Ilin or Kaspar. So I'm currently studying a master degree student here in Tallinn University, majoring in communication management study, first year. So yeah.
Wow, Kaspar, when I came to know that you're coming as a guest and I was forwarded your link of LinkedIn and TikTok, and I was going like this, and I was like, my God, this guy is like such an awesome guy because I'm learning Estonian. And, these are the motivation for a person like me who look through it and understand, okay, we can do it. But what is one thing which all our viewers will like to know from Asia? You're from Asia. What brings you to Estonia?
Wow, that is actually a really long story because my story with Estonia actually started like 8 years ago, actually. At that time, I was a middle school student, and then I'm from China, Beijing, and that time in Beijing, we have like a language program that you can actually, like after finishing middle school, you can go to a language high school. And in my language high school, there are so many those Eastern and Western, Northern European languages. So I did some research, and at my year, we can choose between Estonian, Polish, and other like small languages. And then I did my research and found out like my language high school is the only place in China at that time where you can study Estonian. So I thought it's a really unique like opportunity, and I just wanted to grab that opportunity and started to learn Estonian already in my first year of high school. So it started with my high school already.
Yeah,
It's a very unique journey. When you chose the Estonian language for that class, were you already thinking that eventually you would be heading to Estonia?
At that time, I'm not so sure about this. But after learning for 3 years, and actually in the last semester, I got a chance to had a exchange study in Estonia in Tartu University, actually. So after studying there for 1 semester, I knew that my story with Estonia would not just stop there. So after having an exchange semester in Tartu, I know that I would like to come back again. So I did. So I just started continuing my bachelor studies in the University of Tartu in journalism communication. And when I finished, I still think my story with Estonia will continue. So I moved to Tallinn from Tartu, and now I'm studying my master's degree.
Wow. Okay, bring us back to that time. Your first time in Tartu, your first time in Estonia. What were your first impressions? What was it like?
It was still COVID time. It was actually a really unique experience because I had so many journey that day, first day in Estonia. You know, first I was transferring from Helsinki, and from Helsinki, like they need the workers there, like the border worker there, they should have gave me the temple on my passport. That they forget about that. So when I came to Estonia and everywhere is closed and there are so many police like come to see my passport, and they couldn't find the temples that should have been there, and they were saying, where did you came? Like why you didn't have the temple? I was so nervous, but at the same time I wanted to show off the Estonian that I learned 3 years in Beijing. So I kind of like talk with them in Estonian, and this so many dramas in the first day. But I remember like my first impression after going out the airport, I saw the Estonian flag with snow, and I saw, oh, finally, this is the place, this is the language I've been learning for like 3 years, and finally I'm there. So it's like finally I see the country that I'm dreaming of. Yes.
Yeah. That's quite interesting because you started learning Estonian before you shifted over there. So could you just give me a point of view for the viewers? People say Estonian is difficult language to learn, but you have adapted it so well. So is there any tip that you would like to tell people or students who are looking forward that how Estonian can be easy for them?
I would say, like, in some certain degree, I kind of agree to the point of view, like, Estonia is a really hard language. Even if you're learning Estonia, not in Estonia, for example, you learn, for me, I've started my Estonian journey in China, and it was even more difficult for me because I didn't have any language environment in Beijing besides my Estonian classes. That was like 45 minutes, I think, per day. So it was not enough. So I would say if you wanted to learn Estonia, then immerse yourself in this kind of language environment. Not if you can't learn Estonian in Estonia, then at least you can find yourself some Estonian music, Estonian things. And in the beginning, it is really hard. It was a really hard time because there are such no similarities between Chinese language and Estonian language.
Yes.
For example, we don't have any cases. In Estonia, as we both know, Estonians has like 14 cases.
Yes.
That is actually like something that I don't have any like thing in my mind that I didn't know what is cases, why verbs change like all the time, right?
Wow.
So it was really hard at the first place, but immerse yourself in the language environment. I think it would be my tip.
So I think you have motivated me. I'm learning my A2, and probably if we have your future again with the podcast, then probably we can do something in Estonian. But that's a good insight that you have given it. And you have studied in Tartu and now you are in Tallinn. So could you just tell me how is the education system in Estonia?
I would say it was super fun because both Tartu and Tallinn are my favorite places in Estonia. For Tartu, it's more like a student town, university town. It's so young, like young soul everywhere, and acquaintance like everywhere. There's so many contacts here. And for Tallinn, I think I wanted to relocate because I wanted to work, to have my career a little bit as well besides study. So it was actually really easy, not so difficult in Estonia because you can find an apartment, you can come to Tallinn whenever you want by the buses or train, right? So I just first came to Tallinn, and I have some friends in Tallinn as well. They helped me to like relocate, find an apartment here. And then so I moved from Tartu to Tallinn last summer. So it was quite smooth actually. This process.
And it's quite a long journey, really. You started from exchange and then bachelor's and then master's. But at what point during this journey did Estonia start feeling like home? And what was it that made Estonia feel like home?
I think I don't have exactly the sudden point where I feel like it's my home now. I feel like it's gradually. I think the first step is get to know the Estonia by the perspective of locals. I think it's really important because I had the feeling like if I started speaking Estonian language, then people see me as their own people, not as a outsider, not as a people from China who's just come here for study, not like this. I think they see me as their own people, and they would like to show me their own thing. For example, I know Estonian. I have so many Estonian friends. They invited me to their Estonian vibe birthday party, with sauna and drinks and everything in summer and barbecue. That was so so Estonian. I think as long as I get to know more about the country and the culture and I really enjoyed it, I think that is the point where I gradually feel like Estonia is my second home. So now I feel like Tallinn, Tartu, I really like to stay here for a longer time.
Yeah.
You know, you have really integrated into Estonia when an Estonian invites you
Yes.
into their occasions,
yes.
into their parties.
But as you mentioned, that has been an eye-opening also, that Estonian people are not at least, into the shell. They like to be integrated also. They will also like to welcome you. So how have been your experience making Estonian friends?
Well, first, I think still I would say language played a really important role here because as we all talk about like the stereotype of Estonia are like Northern European, like those like really cold in the first beginning, right? They're not so talkative. But I think language is the thing that can melt their like mask, can melt their cold, so-called coldness in the first place. And if they seem like you're interested in their culture and their language, they're really, really hospitality, and they would love to show you more about Estonia, about the country here, about their everyday life here. I've met so many Estonian, I don't know, at night, I don't know, in daily skivi, I don't know, when enjoying my life, there's like some guys like start talking to me like in Estonian, and I start to reply them in Estonian as well, and they're showing so curiosity towards me. So I think language is still like the first thing, and also your curiosity towards their culture and language it would be the key, I think.
Yeah.
The way you describe that is so
Yeah.
beautiful.
I think it is quite well you have told it, and it is for the viewer to understand it. Like for every language, every country, language is the root. For entire thing. Your tree will bloom, you will get fruits, flowers if your root is strong. And I think that is what for Estonian people is. And once you have planned and you call Estonia as a second home, I think learning Estonian becomes more easy and more interesting. Of course, it is difficult, but I will say it is not impossible if you put dedication to it. So that's great. And now I will ask you some different kind of question. Maybe I don't know how viewer will take it. So if you have been given a chance to choose between Tallinn and Tartu,
Wow, that is really difficult questions. Usually, there's a kind of like a long debate between whether Tartu or Tallinn. I think still right now I'm in Tallinn. I really love Tallinn. Like in Tallinn we have Pirita, we have the beach life, we have the city life, we have the old town and like the tall buildings. But there are some part of my heart I still would give to Tartu. So. I wouldn't say I would definitely choose Tallinn towards beyond Tartu, but I would say Tartu still plays. I will go back to Tartu from time to time. So I would say I don't really have a strong decision like whether I would choose Tallinn or Tartu. Both are my favorites. It's just a hand like this and this.
Totally. Both cities have their own charm, and maybe it's just up to the student or the working person to choose, which one is more suitable for their personality, for their needs. And actually, the way you were talking about language is already leading up to another interesting question, which is how did speaking Estonian change your experience with opportunities here? You already mentioned the Estonian friends, right? But what else did being able to speak Estonian fluently open opportunities for you that otherwise you wouldn't have had if you were just a foreigner here who did not speak Estonian?
I would view the language not just as language, but also like in language, we have the culture, we have the logics of the native people. And the most importantly, if I know Estonian, then there's a whole Estonian language-based information world that waiting me to explore. So I feel like there are kind of like two information, or three actually in Estonia. One English, Estonian, and Russian, like three totally, okay, they're both connected to each other, but relatively independent, like information world. There are so many news that you can only read in Estonian. There are so many information on social media that you can only get in Estonian language. For example, what happened somewhere, someday, right? There's some activity that only held in Estonian. So I think when you know Estonian, then you definitely got to know more opportunity. And there's so many, this like from mouth to mouth, the kind of information, you can only know from native speakers, from locals, and these are the things. And also, I also started my content creation, in Estonian. So this also opens so much opportunity for me, I think.
Okay, that's
a
great.
good transition to his content creation career.
Yes.
We're very excited to talk about.
And as you are a student over here and you're speaking Estonian, and then we are talking about your language, but I want to know, how is the work-life balance for a student over here?
I think Estonia has a really good policy that as a student you can actually work. There's no restrictions towards working. So I think this is a really, really good policy for me. And also, for example, in bachelor, I think I didn't have so many time because it was full time. I had lessons from Monday to Friday, whole days. And on weekends, I just wanted to relax and have some friends time. But in master's degree in Tallinn University, I think they had a really good this timetable for us. For example, my lessons only held in mostly in the evening from 4 o'clock, sometimes from 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it gave me more opportunity. And as my own this working things, I think it's more flexible. I don't have to have sit there from 9 to 5 every day. I think I'm just really flexible. And I think this is only one characteristic for Estonian. They're hybrid, the working style. Many companies here, I think they prefer the hybrid working mode. And so I think it's also suitable for students. If you wanted to work and study at the same time, I think it will be not I would say it's not impossible.
Yeah.
Yes, we agree. The fact that you can work in Estonia full-time as a student is really where Estonia shines as a study destination.
Yes, and it is more about the college is also quite supportive when you're doing it, as you mentioned about the lectures, the timing, the schedule, and you shift to Estonia from day one. You can get into the employment, get into the contract, and you can build up your own, financial system, support system, and you can study along with it.
Yeah, I wanted to mention the support from university is really important as well, because no one really expects you to sit there really from day one to day zero. If you're missing some class, and everyone understand we are also working. So I think the professors were really supportive in this way. No one say you have to be there, you have to quit your job, you have to quit everything to attend to school is really important. But the support from the lecturer and from all professors from the university made me feel I can do a job at the same time, and they'll give me the support I need. So this is also important, I think.
That's really amazing. And speaking of work-life balance, in your career, you are most well known for your work as a content creator. You have built a following of over 30,000 on TikTok, and that is amazing. And that is why I think most of our viewers here will already have recognized you, especially if they're already planning to go to Estonia to study. When did you start creating this account, this content, and what made you want to build a platform?
I think I started doing social media on TikTok basically during my first year of university. So it was actually really random decision. I would just wanted to document my life as a foreign student in the University of Tartu. And at that time, I was doing basically English content. And then I just filmed randomly, really randomly in a day, what is my vlog as a foreign student in the University of Tartu. And I just cut it and then uploaded to TikTok. And the second day, everyone in my class viewed that video who has TikTok. That also advantage for a small society, and these things were spreading really quickly, And then people are suggesting me, what you can do next, what you can try, what you can trying to speak Estonian or trying to some Estonian food, some culture or events. Then I started doing it. At first, I didn't feel like it was my job. I don't feel it right now as well. I just feel like it's one of my hobby that I wanted to share my life with everyone. So I just continue doing this, and after 3 years, I think right now, I've already gained somehow that many followers who would love to see my life as a foreigner here in Estonia.
Yeah, we wish you all the best with regard to it. It will keep on growing because your contents are super, super exciting, quite interesting to view it. And oh my God, and you have a very awesome smile also, which keep everyone engaged to it. Contagious. And so now coming down to the couple of questions when it comes down to the lifestyle. in Estonia. So what do you say about the lifestyle in Estonia, how it is?
I love the lifestyle in Estonia. It's because I'm from Beijing. In Beijing, there are 20 million people living there. So the lifestyle is super, super fast. So when I first came to Estonia, I feel like the tempo of life is way more slower than in my country or in most of bigger like Asian cities. So I feel like I have more time in my life, like in my day. Like I don't have to rush to do anything. For example, the parcel machine, you have 7 days to pick up your parcel. There are only 24 hours in Beijing. You have to, when it's arrived, you have to pick really quickly.
Oh my God,
or your parcel will be sent away. Sent back.
Wow.
So here I have 7 days and I don't have to rush for anything and I have so much time for myself. So I really like the tempo of life, and also I see the nature, right, studying Estonia, that really beautiful. We have so many forests, we have the bogs, right? So I think in weekends I really love to go to the nature with my friends. This is the more like a healthier lifestyle that I really prefer.
Wow.
Thank you for saying that. When you say something very specific like that, like the parcel machines, 24 hours versus 7 days,
I was not aware about it.
I was not aware about that as well. And the amazing thing is when some European friends or Estonian friends hear things like that. Like I remember when I was in my first year as a student here, I mentioned to a friend that I've never seen snow. And they were like, it boggles my mind that somebody out there has never seen snow, and I am taking it for granted. So now that we have our friends from Estonia listening to this one, they are not going to take for granted anymore the 7 days in the parcel machine.
Yes. So,
Can you share some more examples like that? Like something you think that Estonians will not even notice that they have it really good here, but is actually such a big contrast about life in Beijing.
Well, for example, Estonian people, they really like, for example, in tram, when Estonian people say it's a really crowded tram, which means like there are 2 seats and seats are taken like 1 people sitting there, right? But when I say it's so crowded, for example, subway in Beijing, it's actually mean I couldn't enter to the subway. People, one time I was in winter vacation, I was in Beijing, I was taking a bus, and I was on the edge of the front door of the bus because the people are literally like so crowded. I can just stop on the edge of the bus. And when it's the next stop, which wasn't my stop, and the door was open, I was pushed away. I was pushed out of the bus. And then the driver just closed the door. I was like so confused. It's not my station. Somehow I'm out of the bus. Like it's not a joke. It's really like based on my real life experience. So Estonian people really take for granted like how few people here actually, and how like spaceful like the tram it is. Like they're complaining, oh, I don't have anything to say. You can sit next to each other, but somehow I understand like their characteristic of Estonian people.
yes.
Like, yeah.
I was also sharing one experience with my Estonian friends, and they told me like it is so much traffic nowadays. I take so much
That
time.
too, yes.
And I was just thinking, I used to drive every time in my India to my office. 8 kilometers used to take me 1 hour to drive, one way. And that's actually traffic. So I will not say, of course, things might have changed it, but that's how the different world at different part are different. And as you mentioned, the transportation for students is completely free.
Yeah. That is a really good opportunity. And that's not an opportunity I can enjoy in Tartu, only in Tallinn. Only in Tallinn. That is really, really good. I mean, yeah.
Yes, I think it is the best transport because I have never traveled by public transport back in my country. And once I came down over here and once I got used to the transport, and I was like, wow, this is so easy and convenient for me. I don't have to hassle. And similarly, coming down, I don't know whether you drive or not drive. Do you drive car?
I usually use tram like to university, and it's really precise. It's barely late,
When they say they arrive at 3:12 p.m., they will arrive at 3:12 p.m.
Yes.
I think, Estonians have one thing very punctual about the timing.
Yeah.
So that is one thing which set everything apart. So if they tell that the timing of the meeting is 9 o'clock, then everybody should respect and be at 9 o'clock. Exactly. So that, and I think maybe it is more efficient because of the system like transport, the people, culture, how they have grown it up. So I think it's quite interesting because people are always on time.
Exactly. And are these the types of things that sometimes you're showing in your vlogs right now? For those who haven't seen you yet, can you share about how your content has evolved? What is now the content of your vlogs? Are you showing these comparisons, daily life? So what is it all about lately?
Yeah. Basically, lately, it's just about my life and also the life with other content creators in Estonia,
Okay.
basically Estonian content creators. But basically, my vlogs is in Estonian language, sometimes in English language. But I speak in a really friendly way. I think if you wanted to learn Estonian, then I think you can learn. I wouldn't say like you can learn through my video, but I say I would talk in a more slower way, in a foreign people way. But my video are all about my life in Estonia, my daily life vlogs and everything, funny clips in school, everything, just about my life. Yes.
And if people want to see more about it, please follow his
And you
TikTok.
can finish
Yeah.
my TikTok, for Kaspar Wang, yes.
Yes.
And who do you think are most of your audience right now? Are they Estonians who are very delighted about the way you have integrated into the culture? Are they students as well? Or are they English speakers wanting to learn Estonian? What have you found so far from your metrics?
I think they're more Estonian people, but they are also people who is learning Estonian, who wanted to also learn Estonian and to reach their Estonian level at a C1 or at a higher level. They also watched my video, but mostly I think it's Estonian people because I got so many advice from every like comments and they're like suggesting me to do this. So I assume they're all like local people, mostly local people.
Wow, that's great.
Tell us about the opportunities that content creation has opened up for you, whether in Estonia or internationally. How have you come about with working with brands? Since you have built this amazing personal brand, what opportunities did that open for you?
I would say I really appreciate like to start my so-called like career in Estonia because actually the size is really small and that is also something that wasn't happening elsewhere because the path, between a totally starter to a professional here in Estonia is way more shorter than elsewhere in other country.
Okay.
For example, if my content is being seen by some brand, I don't know, their marketing manager and by some people, they will just directly write to me. They wouldn't go elsewhere, just contact me. So it's really easy to be seen, to be heard in Estonia. So that is something like opens you more opportunity. I think I got my first cooperation when I started doing my content for like only 1 year. Then I started like to get some more cooperation. At that time, I just didn't expect like it's so quick. I thought I even didn't expect that I would go in this way. I just feel like I'll just share my content, but somehow life just gave me another opportunity that I found on my own. Like the company Influence also, and now starting helping different like so-called different brands to promote to do their marketing stuff.
Wow, that's great. Now, when you have talked about your company, could you just tell us, viewer and listeners, how easy it is to form a company over here?
I would say the most difficult part in the whole process is to think about the name of it.
Yes, right? Because it takes how many minutes? 5?
It took
10?
me like 2 hours to think about the name of my company. And then it took me 10 minutes to register
Yes.
for a company. Super, super quick.
Super quick.
All you need is your TRP, I think your documents ready. And then just log in online and then just to click and pay the fee. And that's all basically.
I think it is one of the most efficient system in the entire world, I will say, wherein you can just sit and open your company in just 10 minutes. And you told like the name founding, like getting the name is the most difficult part, but opening the company is going to be very easy part.
It is really easy. You can pay every like fee, everything like state fees also online. And I think if you go to a doctor, if you go to hospital, they give you a prescription. You can also see it online.
Yes, everything is online.
Is there. Everything is in the asd.ee, like their website, right? So everything's there. Super convenient.
Yeah. Before we get to the last part of the session, I have a very interesting question that most of our listeners will like to listen, particularly international students. So you come from Asia, and it is usually, mom, dad, family get bit frantic that how my kid is going to survive or how I am going to survive without my food. So do you think if you have shifted down over here, there were difficulty for you to find your local food or your local palate taste, or how were things, grocery stores and everything for students over here?
Well, I would say first of all, like there is a like Chinese community here back in Tartu or in Tallinn. So I first go there. I think although we have fewer like foreign students, foreign international fellows here, but you can definitely find your own community. Even if not, then I think if you search online, it's not so difficult. For example, I found out there's some Asian store in Tallinn that I always like grab any groceries from there, the Chinese food and the spicy food So I think it's not that difficult if you started like to do some research on this and you just go to the street to explore the life. I think it's not impossible, I would say.
Yes, because I shifted same like you 4 years back, and people used to tell me like, from where will you get the spices? From where will you get your food? Or how are you going to do it? And frankly speaking, it has grown. Estonia has grown international market more for the food products, for all the groceries and spices, and everything is available for people over here very easily for international students.
Yes. For example, I have my now I'm studying English, and then I have like students from like classmates from different kind of part of the world, Nigeria, Turkish, Pakistan, and they can all find their own like motherland food, like the eats or the spices.
It's available,
It's available. Yeah, it's really available, and it's really diversity. Like the culture, it's not only one like Western culture, but you can find your own subculture also here.
So to anyone here who is almost convinced about moving to Estonia, but the food, the ingredients are your worry, we're telling you, you're going to be fine, you're going to survive. The ingredients are here. The spices are here.
The spices are here. So are you ready for the next part of the session?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
So this is quite interesting session. We'll just take you through. So we'll be just bombarding you with certain questions, and you have to just tell the one word that come to your mind. So it is called as a rapid fire of study in Estonia question.
I'm ready.
And so let us go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
So favorite Estonian word and why?
Abielu. Abi is help, elu is life. So when two people help each other for a whole life, it's abielu, which means marriage in Estonian.
Wow, I didn't knew it. This is going into my vocabulary. Best Estonian food you have ever discovered?
Kohuke. Without any thinking, kohuke.
Without anything, yeah. That's the best one. The most overrated thing about Estonia?
Overrated.
Yeah.
What do you mean by like this?
Like people talk about it too much as a stereotype, but it's not really true.
The coldness of Estonian. I think if you
You think
really
it's
get to-
overrated?
Yeah,
if
I
you
agree with
really
you.
get to know them, they're actually really, really kind.
They're warm people. You have to just make them warm. That's what. The most underrated thing about Estonia?
I think will be summer. Although everyone's talking about it, but I still think summer in Estonia is way more underrated.
Yes.
We can enjoy way more than we actually expect from there.
Yes, I agree with you. Favorite spot in the city that tourists don't know about?
I would say Telliskivi, like for example here in Tallinn, is really a creative place in
Yes.
Tallinn.
I love Telliskivi.
I love Telliskivi. One Estonian tradition or holiday you have adopted?
Kilu võileib, is bread sandwich, I think, in their Independence Day.
At first, I was suspicious about the fish on bread, but I love it. I love
I
it.
love it.
Yeah.
And I have adopted Yani Pav.
It's really good.
Oh my
Yani
God. Biggest difference between living in China versus Estonia?
People.
Oh.
So many people in China, but here I say you have more spaces like here. You don't have to be wait all the time here.
That's great. So if you can eat only at one Tallinn restaurant for the rest of the life, which one it will be?
Hans restaurant.
Oh my God.
Probably would be my answer as well.
I love it. Yeah. And what one thing you missed most from home that you can't find here?
I would say it's the home taste. It's
Okay,
basically
homely cooked.
Yeah, home cooked thing. I can't do exactly the same taste as my family, my dad cooks. So that's the thing I most. Miss
Oh,
the
wow,
most.
that's great. If you had to convince someone to move to Estonia in one sentence, what would you say?
If you prefer nature if you prefer a slower pace of life, if you prefer a really balanced life, if you wanted to work and study at the same time, then I think Estonia is the best place for you.
Wow.
I love that. Thank you for your answers. That was rapid.
That was
the rapid fire
and
questions.
it was like fast, quick, and very good.
Yeah. And Kaspar, just one last thing before we let you go. This has been an amazing talk. Now, we usually ask this with our guests because we have here audience who are just wanting to be a little bit more convinced to move here and study here. If you could give one piece of advice to a prospective international student who is really, really considering Estonia, whether about studies, language, culture, social life, career opportunities, can you please give them an advice?
I would say don't hesitate. If you have already this thought in your mind, then life is long. And you never know what kind of opportunity you could find in Estonia. There are so many things that you need to explore. The reason why Estonia isn't so kind of popular, isn't so many like documented in this, is also the best part is you never know what's waiting for you in front of you, right? So I think this is the really best part of choosing to study, choosing to move to Estonia, and also the best part of your life. So I think I would really advise, if you have these thoughts, then just do it.
Wow, that's so true and
Powerful,
so good.
powerful words. Do you we'll leave the space for you to promote anything. Do you want to, share your TikTok, any events that are coming up, any more promotions that you want to share with our audience here?
Yeah, I would be really grateful if you feel interested in Estonian life. You can follow me on my TikTok, Kaspar in Estonia or Kaspar1, or my Instagram. And if you want to try authentic Chinese food, then come to our Hans restaurant.
Wow, that's great.
It's worth it. I'm telling you guys, it's worth it. Kaspar, thank you so much for coming to this talk. And I know that you have helped a lot of our prospective international students here. And yeah, I hope they do follow you, and good luck in your content creation and marketing career. We are rooting for you.
Thank you for having me today.
Amazing.
Yes, and for all our listeners, so if you want to stay connected with understanding how Estonia is, please follow Study in Estonia on various platforms, Instagram, Facebook, or our website. And if you have any question with regard to the student life or admission on anything, please drop us an email and we'll be there to revert you and get you more interesting guests who can give and enlighten you to come down and study in Estonia. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in. See you on the next episode.
Thank you. Ciao. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.